Hey there, superstar. I am so excited to share with you my 10-step formula for how to run a strategy session. Now, this is a guide if you're a coach, a speaker, author, consultant, or any other expert who sells. So before I get into the actual 10 steps, which will be very juicy, I promise, I want to share with you a little context about what is a strategy session and why are they so effective. And then I'm going to walk you through the actual process. So a strategy session is a sales process. Essentially, it's a conversation that you lead your prospects through that's designed to get them to make an empowered decision quickly. And what that means by empowered is either a yes or a no. We don't want any maybes. And also it's a process to help check for, is this a good fit client? Is this someone that I can work with, that's gonna get results, that's gonna do the work, and that's gonna be committed? And it's also designed to help people get to that empowered decision and invest and make that decision and payment right there on the spot, without being pushy or sleazy or salesy or manipulative or any of the above. Essentially, what we're going for here is a process that makes sales graceful and easy and also with integrity. You ready? Let's go. So there are 10 steps to this process. And the first step, as with pretty much everything I do, is an internal step before you ever even hop on the phone with a client. And that is your internal state. What that means is that you want to show up energy rich on this call. You want to feel good. You want to feel empowered. You want to get into your inner leader. You want to basically be in an empathetic and compassionate state and really fully ready to serve. One of the things that I do before I hop on a strategy session with a client is get centered and grounded, take a few deep breaths, and remind myself that I am here to serve this person and that I'm not attached to any specific outcome. And the reason I do that is because if I'm attached to the outcome of getting a yes, for example, it's my belief and it's been my experience that people can feel that and they can sense it, and it doesn't serve either of us. So I get neutral and I get grounded and I get ready to serve. The second step is rapport. Getting into rapport means the niceties. Hey, how you doing? It was nice to see you at this event recently. I'm so glad we connected. But the rapport takes maybe 30 seconds to 2 minutes max. We do not want to get stuck in rapport because then we start to devolve into kind of a peer or a friendship conversation. And we want to be really clear that this is a call where you're going to lead them through a process, which means you want to be the person that brings up, let's move to the next step, step 3. Which is your pre-frame. The pre-frame is where you establish your leadership of the call and the guidelines of the call. So this is where, for example, you might want to set up yourself for success at the end of the call by saying something like, hey, so-and-so, I'd like to go ahead and share with you how I like to run these calls. Would that be okay with you? Great. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to start here, then I like to do this. I'm going to take some notes. I'm going to ask you these questions. And at the end of the call, if it feels like we're a right fit to keep working together, I'm going to share with you what could that look like. And then you and I will make a decision together about whether we want to keep working together or not working together. And either way is fine. There's no pressure. Does that work for you? I found that that sort of pre-frame really puts people at ease and lets them relax into the conversation. And it sets up that at the end of the call, we are going to make a decision. And a decision is usually a yes or a no. Sounds good? Let's move on to step 4. Step 4 is the fun part, in my opinion, of the strategy session. Step 4 is where we do the diagnosis. This is where we're asking questions and they're giving answers. And usually in the Q&A, I'm also taking notes. And I like to take notes by hand so people aren't hearing me clicking around on my keyboard. So this is where I ask the deep probing questions that help me understand what's going on with them. In the diagnosis, we're looking for 2 things, vision and pain. We want to know, what is it that this person wants? What's their vision? And what's in the way of them getting it? What's the pain? Now, in social conversation, in a cocktail party, you're not taught to go and dig into the pain of people. You're not taught, you're supposed to be polite, right? You don't touch those subjects. But in a coaching conversation, it is the pain that generally drives the decision to move forward, to do something, to step into this vision that they have. And so without knowing what that pain is and without poking around and finding where it hurts the most, generally, you're not going to be able to serve that person very powerfully. By the way, if you like this video and you want to see more like them, do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, click the little alert button so you'll get a notification every time I drop a new video. And while you're at it, why don't you just go ahead and like this video and shoot me a comment below. Let me know how this is landing for you. Is this helpful? I'd love to hear about it. Once you have a sense of what might be going on, now it's time to give your insight and perspective back to your prospect. Now, be careful. This doesn't mean that you're coaching your prospect and you're giving them answers or solutions or letting them know, hey, this is what you need to do. Do this and then do this and do this. That's not a prognosis. That's a prescription. That's different. What you want to do in the prognosis instead is to share where this is going. If the client does nothing, if they don't take any action around this, how are they going to end up? Where is it going to end up? And really what you want to do is you want them to answer that. You want them to understand that. So rather than you telling them, you're going to do this and it's going to be like this. If you don't take action on your diabetes, you're going to die or you're going to have your leg cut off. You don't want to be the source of that. What's better is to ask them, so where is this going? What happens if you do nothing? How is this going to end up? What do you see happening? Is this important to you? Is this something that really matters or not a big deal? So the prognosis is more Q&A, but these are questions designed to help them see the consequence of not taking action and also tap into the excitement and the pleasure if they do take action. And again, in the prognosis, we don't want to be coaching. We don't want to give solutions because they won't implement them. At this phase where you've just listened and then you go ahead and give them answers, 90% of the time, I'm making that up, it might be more, they are not going to implement any advice you give them, any solutions you give them right there and then. Generally, for people to actually implement and do the work, they need to have made some sort of commitment, and they have not yet made a commitment. But don't worry, that's where we're going next. But before we go there and ask for the commitment, there's another step that we need to take, and this is fitness. And I put a question mark there because that's up to you to decide. Is this a right fit client? Is this someone that I want to serve and that I can serve? Is this someone that I think is gonna do the work? Is this someone that's an ideal client? And here's what I would say. If this answer is yes, then I would suggest you move on. But if the answer is no, I would suggest you stop it right there. Meaning, not stop it and be like, oh no, get off the phone, I hate you. Not like that, but just saying, all right, if this is not a right fit client, then I want to generously give them something that's going to put them on the right path and send them on their way with blessings. So what I do in this case, if it's a no for me and I'm feeling like I'm not feeling this client, or I don't think they're ready, or I don't think I'm the right coach, then I will guide them in a certain direction and I'll give them advice. That's when I'll go ahead and give them some advice and they can do with it what they will. I'll give them a video, I'll give them a course, I'll give them a book to read, I'll give them an idea or something to go implement or do. And generally, 99% of the time, I never hear from them again. And every once in a while, every blue moon, somebody comes back into the top of this process, they come back, they book a call, and they've done the thing. And I'm blown away. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go on to the next step. Maybe you're ready now. And I'll go through this process again. And every once in a while, every blue moon, I have a yes, and we can keep going in this process. That happened recently, actually, a couple years ago with a client. I worked with her 12 years ago. She wasn't ready. Then I worked with her 7 years ago. She wasn't ready then. And then a couple years ago, she came back. She was ready. She came into my retreat. She came into my Influencer Circle program. So it does happen. The next step after checking to see if someone's a fit, if they say yes, if you say yes, if they are a fit and you want to work with them, what I would suggest you do is tell them, yes, you are a client. Yes, I'd love to work with you. Yes, I can help you. Yes, yes, yes. And really, the reason this is so important is because people want to feel like you can lead them and that they can get the benefit. They want to know that you feel certain because they don't feel certain yet. They don't necessarily trust themselves or you yet. So your certainty substitutes for their certainty in this moment. The next step from there is to check for commitment and urgency. Commitment and urgency. And what that looks like is asking them, how committed are you? How important is this for you? And the reason you want to ask that question is because if you're selling coaching services, especially, they're going to need to do the work. And if they're not committed, if this isn't the highest priority for them, then chances are they're not going to show up fully and they're not going to do the work. So I ask people on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you? And unless they tell me 10, I don't go any further. Now, I also ask, how urgent is this? What's your time frame look like? And the reason I want to do that is because it helps me, since I'm an event-driven model, this helps me determine what's the right event for them based on their timeline. Okay, we're almost there. This is the home stretch. Once you've got that they're fully committed, that this timeline works, that they're ready to do it now, not wait a year, then we want to go ahead and invite. This is when we make the offer. This is when we say, all right, so I'm feeling good, you're feeling good, this feels like a fit, I know how I can help you, I feel really confident about supporting you, you're a level 10, I'm a level 10 committed, it's urgent, you're ready to do this now, here's what I recommend, here's the program, here's the package. Here are the outcomes of the package. I want to specify that because so often people start talking about the details of the program, and you're going to get this many calls, and you're going to do this many events, and you're going to have this many hours and this many half-hour sessions. Like, don't do it. Focus on the outcomes of your offer. By the time you're done with this program, this is what you'll have. And really focus on that first and then check in. Does that sound like what you need? And if they say yes, so you first check in on the outcome, and then if it sounds like what they need, and if they say yes, then we start to look at the features. Okay, well then this is how it's gonna work. And sometimes I don't even talk about this, swear to God. Sometimes I don't even talk about this till after they've made the commitment, which is step number 10, and it's only step number 10 because number 9 is what sometimes gets in the way, which are objections. Now, even though we perceive objections as getting in the way, like I just said, I actually think that objections are a place to go deeper. They're a way to get to know your client better, and the best way to handle an objection is to agree with it, is to receive it, is to accept it, and then share a story or an analogy or a metaphor or something that has them see the objection itself isn't the deeper problem. So for example, if I get an objection from somebody that they need to learn, so we're doing this whole thing, and the whole thing is about how are they going to make more money, how are they going to grow their coaching business, how they're going to have this amazing vision, but what's in the way is that they can't price their services, they don't know what they're selling, they need a big back end. And then we get here and they tell me, but I don't have the time. I'm like, well, if you don't have the time, if you don't make the time for this program, you'll never be able to do this. You'll never have the time. You have to take the time now so that you can do this work, and that will eventually soon liberate time for you to have more time with your family, your hobbies, whatever it is you want. So the objections, you want to receive them and also share with them how oftentimes that objection is the very thing that's showing up as one of their pain points. And then finally, take payment. And I know some of you right now are resisting this one because people are funny about money. But what I've discovered is that when we take payment here, it's the best time. We don't want to push this off like, I'll send you a link or I'll send you an invoice. Absolutely not. What you want to do is at the very least take a deposit. This deposit shows that they're committed, and it is also their first step in saying yes to their own vision. And that is really, really powerful from an energetic perspective. So I'm a big believer in taking payment right there over the phone. Take the credit card, type it into the PayPal processor or Square or whatever you've got, and go ahead and either collect the full payment, and I usually give an incentive for people to pay in full, or collect at the very least a deposit. So those are my 10 steps for creating an aligned sales conversation with integrity, one that enrolls the right people, lets go of the wrong people, and gets people to step into their vision powerfully and in a way that's committed. If you are a coach, consultant, speaker, author, expert who sells, and you want to up-level your marketing and your sales and grow your business, then I can help. Go ahead and visit superstaractivator.com/go and sign up for a free discovery call with me. It's not a sales call, it's not a full strategy session unless you want one, but it's a way for us to quickly touch base and see, hey, do we want to take the next step together? You can do that at superstaractivator.com/go or just click on the link below in the notes.